So good morning, everyone. I'm Dalal Rahme, the Data Services Librarian at AUB Libraries. And today we're going to talk about scholarly communication services at AUB. At AUB Libraries, we are committed to helping university scholars navigate shifting publishing, intellectual property, and information policy landscapes in ways that promote research dissemination, accessibility, and impact. When I say scholarly communications, it's a word which includes many services and many topics. Today, we're not going to cover everything, but we are going to cover only two topics: institutional repositories and data services. The other topics, we do offer services related to the other topics under scholarly communications, but we're not going to discuss those today. So when you probably all know that there are several open access routes, but mainly two: the golden route, which is when you publish your article through a publisher's platform, and the green route. The green route, which is the author self-archiving, in which a version of the article, usually the peer-reviewed version, is posted online to an institutional or subject-specific repository. Today, we're going to discuss institutional repositories. So what are institutional repositories? There are several definitions. Lynch, the director of Coalition for Networked Information and a professor at Berkeley, defines an institutional repository as a set of services that the university offers to the members of its community for the management and dissemination of digital materials created by the institution and its community members. We also see in different definitions the open access aspect. So, for example, Johns Hopkins University Libraries defines an institutional repository as a way to promote free and unrestricted access to research output of the institution. So, an institutional repository is a platform belonging to an institution created to host scholarly output of its research community and to make it openly accessible through a set of services the platform provides. So we're going to learn more about those services in the coming slides. But before doing that, I want to show you a little bit from this page, Registry of Open Access Repositories, the number of repositories, institutional repositories around the world. So the current registered number is 3,795. So there are 3,795 universities having institutional repositories. And in this screenshot, I took a screenshot from the United States. In the United States alone, there are 658 institutions or universities having a repository. And if you go to this page, you can browse by country or continent or country, the type of software they're using, the repository, the kind of repository. Here I filtered by institutional repository, and you can see like the University of Nebraska here, MIT, and mainly, like all prominent universities have an institutional repository. Okay. I also want to show you this screenshot, this slide listing top universities, top 15 universities around the world having an institutional repository, and they're ranked. This is a transparent ranking provided by AUB's Google Scholar. Because Google Scholar does index all of those repositories, Google Scholar can know how many items were deposited and when. So based on the number of deposits, the Smithsonian Astrophysics Data System, this is one of the repositories belonging to the Smithsonian Institute, has 1,430,000 deposited items in its repository. NASA and you can see all other institutions, and there are more. So if you go to this link, you can see the number of deposits each institution have in its institutional repository. Now at AUB, we also have an institutional repository. It's called AUB ScholarWorks, and it has been there since 2004. It's mainly hosted thesis and dissertations, but now it also hosts faculty publications and other type of scholarly output materials. So it is supported by the university libraries, and its mission is to disseminate scholarly output, preserve it for long-term access, and provide persistent and reliable access to it. I'm not sure how many people have heard about AUB ScholarWorks, but let's take a look at it together. So you can access AUB ScholarWorks from AUB Libraries page. And if you scroll down a little bit on the main AUB Libraries page, you'll find a button here called AUB ScholarWorks. And this is our AUB's institutional repository. Or you can go to scholarworks.aub.edu.lb, and this is how you get access to AUB ScholarWorks. Now, well, AUB ScholarWorks has a hierarchical structure. We'll see it in the coming slide. But in AUB ScholarWorks, you can deposit articles, theses, projects, dissertations, technical reports, conference papers, data sets, statistical and geospatial packages, teaching material, preprints and postprints, working papers, images, audio, videos, and maps, collection of maps, for example. What you cannot deposit in AUB ScholarWorks is administrative records, published material where publisher policy does not allow deposit, e-portfolio for students, journal publishing, shared collaborative space for groups. It's not a shared collaborative space for groups. So the services offered through AUB ScholarWorks are the following: preservation, visibility, and control. In terms of preservation, AUB ScholarWorks will provide you with a space to store your content. It will back it up for you. You will not have to worry about losing your USB. For example, if you have your work stored on your USB, or computer crashing, viruses, etc., it will back it up for you. It will make it discoverable by providing you with a structured metadata to enrich your content and make it discoverable online. In terms of visibility, AUB ScholarWorks will make your work more visible through the licenses it provides, and also through the metadata it provides through the indexing. AUB ScholarWorks is indexed by all search engines like Google, Bing, Yahoo. So whenever you deposit something, those search engines will index it, and then anyone searching through Google will find what you have published. It will provide you with a citation, a way to cite your work, and with a unique identifier. We use handles. Handles are like DOIs. So your work will not be lost. For example, I've heard from many faculty members at AUB that they have listed their publications under their profiles. And this is what you usually do, right? This is a good way to promote your research. But if AUB is changing the website, the website, the design is updating the design of the website or refreshing the pages, etc. All of those links will be broken. And then the people, when they click on your papers or profiles, they will not get to them. AUB ScholarWorks provide you with a unique identifier ID. So you can deposit your work in AUB ScholarWorks and put the link on your profile. And this link will never be broken. In terms of control, you'll have a full control over your submission, let's say your article. For example, you say, I want to publish my article now through AUB ScholarWorks, but under a certain embargo period. I don't want to make it accessible right now. I want to make it accessible in 2 months or in 3 months or in a year. So you can do that. You can have access restrictions. For example, you can say, I want to deposit my data set, for example, through AUB ScholarWorks, but I want it to be accessible only by AUB community through username and password, or only by my department. So you can have some access restrictions. We at the library do encourage open access. So we do not encourage you to restrict access to your scholarly output, but for some reasons you might want to do so. So it's available. This option is available for you. And you'll get full institutional support. You can remove your submission whenever you want. You can add to it. You can enrich it with metadata. You can, we provide you with statistical information such as number of downloads, number of views, and from where, etc. So those are the services provided by AUB ScholarWorks to you. Now I want to explain a little bit the structure of AUB ScholarWorks. AUB ScholarWorks has a hierarchical structure. For example, we have a list of communities. One of those communities is the FAFS. And if you press on FAFS, you'll find different collections, which are the departments like agriculture, landscape, and nutrition. So if you're from the agriculture department, you'll press on agriculture and you go to the agriculture collection. And there you will be able to submit your scholarly output. So the first thing you have to do is to log into AUB ScholarWorks, provide descriptive metadata for your work, and then upload your preprint or postprint based on the license you've signed with the publisher. Now here, before we go to ScholarWorks and do a small demonstration, I want to talk a little bit about the publisher's license. Usually, nowadays, publishers are allowing you to archive, to self-archive your article. Many publishers are doing so, but you have to pay attention to your license when you're signing it. Just read it before you sign it and search for self-archiving, for the self-archiving clause. And if it's not there, you can ask the publisher, you can send an email to the publisher and tell him to add this clause to your license before you sign your license. They will add it to your license, and then you can deposit a copy of your work in AUB ScholarWorks. And this way you will have your article in open access. So anyone can read your article even if they don't have a subscription to the journal where you are submitting your publication. I'm going to do a quick demonstration on how to submit to AUB ScholarWorks. So AUB ScholarWorks, this is the list of communities, mainly faculties. And we press on FAS and we go to our department. For example, I'm from the biology department. I go to the biology department. And here I have a submit a new item to this collection button. I press on it and I'll get a form where I have to add my metadata to make my publication searchable. So author, last name and first name, the title of the submission, the date of issue, the publisher, who is the publisher if I'm submitting it to also to a journal, citation from the journal, the identifier if the journal has an ISSN, for example. Here you choose the type of submission you're submitting, a book chapter, an article, an animation. You can submit different types of materials, data set, government documents, etc., maps, etc., and you choose the language. Some fields are mandatory, some are not. Like the title is mandatory, the year of publication is mandatory, and all of the other fields are not mandatory. And then you press next. You add some keywords to here. You can also add the abstract or a small description related to your submission. If you have a sponsor, you can add their names here. More information about your submission, not mandatory fields, but you can use them. And then you press next. And here you can upload your submission. I'm going to upload anything for now. We provide a small description related to the uploaded file. For example, if the uploaded file was in a format which needs a specific software to open it, we can add this description here and we press next. And this is a summary of what I have uploaded, the metadata and the file, and we press next. And here we have a license and we have to tick, I agree to the license. This license, we state that we are the copyright holders of the submission we are submitting. We are not infringing any copyrights, and we have full control over our submission. We can remove it whenever we want. We can keep it. We can update it. AUB Libraries has the right to reformat our submission. For example, if it is in Word, if it is a Word document, the library will convert it to a PDF file, which is better for long-term preservation and access. So the library will only reformat our submission, and the library has the right to enrich our metadata. So we have a cataloging department, and in this department, they will look at our submission and they will add more keywords, for example, more controlled vocabulary to make it more findable and accessible. And when you tick on I grant the license and you complete your submission, you will receive an email saying that your submission is under review. We will review your submission only to enrich your metadata and ask any questions if we have any questions for you. And then we will approve your submission, and it will become part of AUB ScholarWorks. And this is when all search engines will come and index it, and then it will be more visible through online. Also, Google Scholar will index your submission, and it will be visible on Google Scholar as well. Here you can see the recently added submissions to ScholarWorks. You can search ScholarWorks by communities and collections, by issue date, by authors, by titles, and by subject. So this is related to AUB ScholarWorks. We do encourage you to make your research output openly accessible to all using green open access, so self-archiving through the institutional repository, AUB ScholarWorks. This will increase your visibility and make your research more visible. This image is a. Can you see the screen? My presentation.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So this image is a little bit old. This is from 2015, and this is the percentage of institutions which have adopted an open access policy on campus. So in 2015, 75 institutions had adopted an open access policy in the US on campus, and in Europe, 237. And nowadays, the number has probably tripled, because many institutions are adopting open access policies on campus. And when you adopt this open access policy, the publisher will, by default, add this clause stating that you can self-archive your article through your institutional repository, because they know that the institution you are affiliated to has an open access policy as a mandate. The other thing I'm going to talk about today is AUB Data Bank. AUB Data Bank is part of AUB ScholarWorks. So it inherits all of the services provided by AUB ScholarWorks. Under AUB Data Banks, you have two collections, data sets and research supporting material. Data sets can be of any type in any format. They can be spreadsheets, textual data, a collection of maps, GIS data. They can come as audio files, as video files. It depends on the type of research you're doing and what you are doing, what you are collecting. Research supporting material are materials like questionnaires, or any type of material you think others can use it to complete their research. Any type of reusable supporting material. So in the same way, you go to AUB ScholarWorks. AUB Data Bank is listed under the communities in AUB ScholarWorks. Currently, we have 22 submissions to the data bank. When you press on data bank, you'll see the two collections we spoke about, the data sets and the research supporting materials. We currently have 18 data sets deposited and 4 research supporting materials. You'll also see the recent submissions in a list. This submission has various life satisfaction and social well-being concerns during the COVID-19 pandemic. This was submitted 2 days ago by Dr. Ahmad Muhammad from OSB. And this is a data set related to the research he was doing on COVID-19 pandemic and health worries, life satisfaction, etc. When he submitted this research to the journal he wanted to publish in, they asked him to make his data set openly accessible through a platform. And he knew about AUB ScholarWorks and the data bank, so he submitted it in the data bank here. And currently, journals and publishers and funding agencies are requiring from researchers to make their research data openly accessible. We'll see. So why share research data? Research data advances science. So whenever you're sharing your research data, you're contributing to the research field, and people can come and use your data and build on it. And this will advance the science. It allows verification of results. So if you're not making your research data openly accessible, how can one verify your results? How can one know if the conclusions you came up with are correct or not? So sharing research data is very important for transparency and for allowing verification of results. It also improves the science, because whenever you have in mind that you're going to share your research data at some point, this will make you do good data collection, choose a representative sample, enhance the quality of your data, etc. And this will lead to improving the science. Sharing your research data is time-saving also, because whenever you're sharing your research data, your colleague can use it, and you can also use your colleague's data without having to reinvent the wheel to generate the same data or to acquire the same data your colleague already has. It allows new discoveries and new directions. And here we're talking about we're talking about people from different disciplines using different cross collaboration. Using others' data set to in other directions. It is a requirement by all US funding agencies and all European funding agencies. So if you are asking for a fund from a European or a US funding agency, you have to share your research data. They will put it as a condition that you'll have to share your research data when your project is done. So when we say data sharing, we have to think about different things like high quality data, well-described data, well-structured, properly stored, and available to others. So in order to share your research data, you have to manage it appropriately. A data management plan is also a document required by many funding agencies. They want to know if you are planning appropriately for data management in order to be able to share it with others. If your data is not managed properly, then it will not be ready for sharing with others. Some people share their research data, but the research data is not reusable by others because it's not of high quality. It's not well described. People won't be able to understand it. It's not well structured nor properly stored, etc. So in order to share your data, you have to manage it appropriately. And at the library, we provide data management services. We can help you in writing a data management plan as well. We're not going to talk about that in this session, but we'll organize another session related to writing a data management plan. So our services at AUB Libraries include one-on-one consultation, online sessions, and workshops. So if you are interested in the topic or you want to discuss anything related to that topic, we're here to listen to you and to support you and to help you. So for more information, we have some guides. I'll provide you with a link to those LibGuides related to data services and AUB ScholarWorks. Otherwise, you can contact us by email, scholarworks@AUB or dalal.rahme@AUB.